Thank you so much for joining us. Splendid Wednesday to be alive. Lovely day to be alive, actually. And thank you for rising with us. My name is Michael Mikamba. This is Arise Africa. And remember, we're coming live from the ATV studios here in Nairobi. That was the workout segment. Hoping you're keeping fit, hoping you're keeping the pace. Remember, we will bring workouts every morning live from Penthouse here in Nairobi. So thank you for joining us. We have a lot lined up for you on the show. Remember, Arise Africa has got a lot of segments. So if you're joining us right now, we've got a lot of segments. And that was just the workout that it's done. We're just about to go to the catch-up, the health tip, Business Mwananchi, telling you tips on how you can be on our Business Mwananchi segment. We've got the inspirational moment. We've got the guest for the day, DIY, so much more. So stay tuned and so that you can get what we are talking about. So right now we are going on the catch-up and we are going digital, and Kenya is going digital. And in the recent past, a lot of digital implementation have been put in place in our government system. We had the Huduma that went digital the other day. Now everything that is done so fast, and it's done in electronic kind of manner that keeps it up to date. Now, recently, President Uhuru rather unveiled a biometric system that is set to churn out and weed out ghost workers in the civil service unit. People are skeptic about it. People are happy. I know we are taking steps toward the right direction. That's why I'm excited about it. But then we went to the had what people had to say.
Hi, my name is Errol. Well, the biometric system that has been introduced, it will work for some time, but definitely it won't be the major thing. Ghost workers are ghost workers. Whichever method they use, they will still get ghost workers. There's a time they used vetting system, whereby you bring your ID, your job description card, your papers, but still they had ghost workers. What if the biometric system does not capture the ghost workers? Because remember, you just use your prints and your opinion and your maybe other information that they need. But still, they need to try harder.
My name is Stephen Kisorwa from Kitui County. My opinion is that that process will really help Kenyans to suffer from. It will help them to reduce this burden of paying tax, because we are taxed and our money is paid to people who are not known. They don't exist. That is not that we can't allow that. And personally as a Kenyan, I'm fully supportive to that process. And I also can congratulate our President Uhuru Kenyatta, because I saw him somewhere leading other Kenyans to help the process commence.
John Maguke. Simply, I'm called Sir John. Right. Biometric system. This thing is a waste of time. Totally. Because the majority who are there, they have enjoyed our money since time immemorial. Why now? Some of them are old, some of them have died, some of them are still there. So these are the way of removing young people from work and employ other group, because people were promised jobs. Simple. That's what is the government trying to do, to blackmail the young youth. Some of them are parents working there. Instead, they can confirm those people and give them appointment letters. Simple.
My name's Abdullahi Galgalo, former Secretary for Youth Affairs of Fort Kenya and the President of Eastern Central African ASIO. I think that the thing that the President have thought about it, it's the right time at the right thing that he's doing. Because there is a lot of people who are just harvesting without working. There is some people who are earning salaries of the dead people. There is some people who are earning the people who are not existing. This thing that I think that it will reduce the taxpayers' need.
Definitely, the new registration process of the workers that are being registered by the biometric voter registration system is that first it's going to weed out the the ghost workers. Initially, even the county government of Nairobi, initially we found that very many people, very many workers who are ghost workers were receiving or were on the payrolls. So first is going to weed out the ghost workers, and that's going to make the salary budget lean. And when it makes the salary budget lean, that means the other funds that are going to be accounted for are going to be channeled to other development funds. So definitely it's going to weed out the ghost workers, and basically it's going to bring efficiency within the development system and the county government systems.
My name is Kevin Miner. What I think about the biometric system is that it won't change a thing. As long as the people are the same kind of people, I think corruption starts with an individual. And even if you bring a new system, systems can be cracked. They are made by man. So for me, let us change the individual instead of systems. Looking forward to change the system, but it's a good step.
My name is Mubarak. I truly think the biometric system that's been introduced will be only effective if the people who are handling them are free from corruption, because they can still use the system to register ghost workers and still earn illegit money. So it all depends with the people who operate in the system, and the ministry and the government, how serious they are about the ghost workers. Otherwise, we'll still have the same problem year in, year out.
The views from the public and some of the opinions out there. Some people are skeptic, some people are positive about it, some people are excited that we're going digital, some are saying not quite much. But then it is a good step for the government. I believe it's a good step by the government to go digital and try to see if we can weed out ghost workers, because at the end of the day, it's our money being used out there. At the end of the day, it's money being paid to unknown people. But then it's good now that everything is being digitalized. I hope the sanity is still maintained, because there was a point there that said that we actually don't need to change the system much. We need to change the system to go digital, but then don't did it so that it can help us curb some of the crimes that we do silently. Corruption should not be there, so we can chat by changing ourselves even as we change the system. But then what do you think? Chat me up at Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter, hashtag Arise Africa, and those are our lines. Chat me up. What do you think about the new systems? Do you think they're effective enough? Do you think in due time they'll help us change the economy? I'm pretty excited about it, but then what do you think? Chat me up. So right now we get our health tip for the day. This is just a segment that helped us know what we need to know about the foods we eat, the drinks we have, and what nutrients and what benefits they have for our body. We get the health tip. Thank you so much for that health tip. That was our health tip for the day. And as you can see, it's called the hoho. We always call it the hoho, but then it's called the red bell pepper. And what it does on our body, since it's rich with vitamin C, as you have read and as you have seen, it decreases anxiety, because when you have it, it decreases anxiety. It's one of those food that helps you calm your nerves, and it also absorbs a lot of iron since it's an antioxidant and has a lot of vitamin C. It has said up to 300% of vitamin C, which helps you absorb the iron in your food. And it also burns calories and it increases your metabolism without actually increasing your heart rate. So it's good for your body, and that is what the red bell pepper does for you, or if you can call it at home, pilipili hoho ya red. Most people call it that. I heard that from the shop and I laughed. But then it's true. That's how we've called it all along. That was our health tip for the day. Tell us what you think about our health tip. Do you think they're helping enough? Do you think we need to add more? Chat us up. Tell us what you think. And we will be sure to give you a response, keeping it Arise Africa. And right now, we move on straight to Business Mwananchi. And right now, this whole week we will be doing, it's kind of promotional week, telling you what Business Mwananchi is all about. Because some people have been going around wondering what Business Mwananchi is. Is it an advertisement? Is it a story? What Business Mwananchi is, it's a story. It's a story about a business. If you think you've got a clear mind, you've got a creative mind, and you feel like my business is the niche, and you have a niche for it, whatever business it is, from washing clothes and you make money for yourself, from designing a new way of cleaning stuff, having your own niche in the hotel industry, having your own shop and sell clothes in your own kind of way, how you maintain your clients, just tips on how you own your business. That story is what you need for Business Mwananchi, because every creative mind brings a new story to the table. And just to show you what you think, this is just a compilation of what we've done before to give you a hint of what Business Mwananchi is all about.
Naitwa Peter Mwangi. Mimi naishi Dandora. Mimi kazi nimeshafanya miaka kama 20.
My name is George. I'm in charge of sales in a company called Siozumi. We manufacture this product. It's called Magnificent Dashboard Cleaner. We also have another product called Magnificent Tire Shine.
Mimi kwa majina naitwa James Kotia. Lakini ile inajulikana sana kwa hii kazi yangu ni Moses. Na hii kazi ya construction ilianza 2000 mpaka wa leo.
I'm Philip Morioki. I'm the shop manager at Inix Electronics Company.
Jina mimi naitwa Elisha Kiumbi.
My name is Patrick Maingi, and I do a business of lighting systems.
I always want to venture into business, but then a business idea can varied all the time and you feel like, maybe this is not cut out for me. But then after seeing those stories and after learning from different entrepreneurs, going around doing stories from different entrepreneurs, different employees, different managers who man other bigger institutions, but then they deal with this, they're in charge of their subsidiary, and it's so inspiring how they all run their businesses differently, and how they're different personas, and how they're different personalities, and their different edges, their different enterprises, their different expertise help them to run the business in their own kind of way, which is fantastic, and I hope you're being inspired. And if you are, just let us know on our lines. Hashtag Arise Africa is the conversation. It's the conversation tag that we're going with, and then Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter is what we're using as our social lines. Just chat us up and let us know. And if you have a business out there and you feel like this is a good business that you need to cover, you need Arise Africa to come and cover on our Business Mwananchi, you need a story out there, just call us up. We'll be sure to book an appointment and come and cover it for you. It's a good way to keep your business out there and tell us your story from your kind of way. Try inspire others. I believe that's like the whole intention behind Business Mwananchi. But then if you're liking us and wherever you're watching us from, just let us know and tell us what you like about the show. Tell us what you've learned from today's show, because every show has different packages. Tell us what you've learned from every show that we have. And remember, Arise Africa continues with more segments. We've got our inspirational moments yet to come. We've got our guest for the day. We've got got tips on safety that NAPO compiles every week that are yet to come. We've got habits, we've got DIY, we've got the good vibrations, we've got our guests for the day that I like keeping you guys guessing so that you can stay tuned and watch it and just ask him too much question. Prepare your question for the guest of the day, and then we've got our feature segment and so much more on Arise Africa. Right now, we get our quote for the day as we continue with our programming. If you've got nothing to dance about, find a reason to sing. That's a quote by Melody Castells, and it has really given me something to talk about, because I know some people can't dance and can't sing, so I don't know how that quote goes for them. But then it just leads you to tell you that it doesn't have to be a specific. We've got nothing to dance about. Find an alternative. That's all it talks about. You don't have to be talented in both. But then it's a good quote for the day. Hoping it's exciting you every day. It's our quote for the day, and by Melody Castells. They're trying to give you an encouragement that if you've got the quote to me, what it means to me, if you've got nothing to dance about, find a reason to sing. If whatever you're doing right, if whatever talks to me is like whatever I'm doing right now, if I feel like this is not this is not what I want to do, this I'm not cut out for this, find a reason to do what you do best and just do it. That is what it brings to me. But then what does it mean to you? Remember, you can chat me up. I'm free to read all your comments and get your opinions on every quote, on every safety, on every health tip. If you feel we need to cover something new, just tell us on our lines on Arise Africa. So right now we get our inspirational moment. This is just a short film that inspires me every morning. I hope it inspires you every morning. And if it does, tell me. But first, we get it.
Everybody sees me today in the position I'm in, a fast-growing company. They don't really understand the story and the struggle behind my success, where I've come from, and really where it takes to achieve success. My story starts, like many others around this world, it starts, unfortunately, growing up in a poor situation. I grew up in a pretty wealthy area, being poor, and I think there's nothing worse in life than growing up poor in the face of people having everything. It makes you really realize what you don't have. When you grow up in an area where nobody has anything, you're kind of all on a level playing field. But when you grow up in a wealthy area where everybody seems to have so much more than you, you know that you don't have as much as them. You know your parents don't have as much money. I realized what I don't have. I realized what I wanted. And I made sure from a very young age that I would succeed at every goal I've ever dreamt of. Seeing my parents work and struggle inspired me to work. I didn't have the money like everybody else did when they went to university, where their parents paid for them and they had the nice cars and I worked 3 jobs to put myself through university. I graduated, and till this day, I'm so thankful that I had to go through those experiences, because it's those struggles and those hardships that define me as a person. You need to sacrifice almost everything to achieve your goal. So when people say you're lucky, they don't know what they're talking about. And people that say that will never achieve their goal, because luck has nothing to do with it. Because if I was that lucky, I wouldn't have fallen on my face so many times. I wouldn't have failed so many times. I wouldn't have had so many sleepless nights. Perseverance is the key to success. And then when you succeed, people are going to try to justify to you in a very simple way why you've succeeded. I know what I'm capable of, I know what I'm going to do, and I know where I want to be, and nothing is going to stop me. I look at myself and I say, well, what else do I want to achieve? And the answer is still the same from when I was a kid. I want to achieve greatness. In many people's eyes, I've achieved success. But in my eyes, it's not enough. I want to achieve greatness. That is my story in life. It was my story in the past, and it'll be my story in the future. The ability to never give up and to always know where I want to go. I will not let anybody deter me from that goal, and I will never let anybody discourage me from achieving my goals.
Wow, that is the inspirational moment for the day. And what I love about the inspirational moment is the words, the power of words, the power of inspiration in the morning. It gives you this new zeal to move on, and you've realized that what you don't have really helps you push forward to know, because you know what you want, because you are lacking it for the longest time of your life. So you know what you know what you're missing, and you really work hard to try deal with what you have to do what you have to do so that you can achieve. And sometimes the hardship that people go through, like in that story, he said that the hardship, if I'm quoting him, the hardship that I went through really taught me what I am missing, really told me what I'm missing, and told me what I want to get. And you see with the word lucky, when people tell you you're lucky, that was a good quote right there. When people tell you you're lucky, they really don't know what you're all about. They really don't know what you're all about. And he's quoted that people really say that, don't know what it is to work hard, don't know what it is to put in the effort. And right, to inspire you this morning, to just put in the effort, put in the hard work, and all you have will achieve. And the quote that ended there is that ambition really starts nothing, but then it is the hard work that starts something. So put in the work, put in the hard work. That is all we had for the inspirational moment for the day. And if you're liking these inspirational moments and you feel like they are helping you mold, and there's an angle we need to take, tell us on our lines. The lines are free to open. They're on the screen. Hashtag is Arise Africa. Twitter and Facebook are also down there. We are keeping it Arise Africa with me, Michael Mwikamba. And just to show you the rest of the programming, what we are about to do, that we've got safety that is coming up shortly. We've got guest of the day that will be joining us soon. I'm excited. There's the habit, there's the DIY, there's the good vibration, good vibes, and the feature for the day, and so much more on Arise Africa that will keep you guessing. But then keep on watching as we go on safety tips. Reckless things that you do, but then sometimes it's not so good to spill water and just let it there. It might injure someone. So when you spill water, especially on tiles, on a floor, it can be slippery. Don't leave it lying there. It's not safe. It's not safe for you. You might be carrying some heavy object and you're walking and forgot that you left the water there. And if you're fond of using sandals that do not have grip, you might lose your step, you might slip, and you might end up injuring yourself so bad. It looks funny when Napo laughs at it, but then when it happens to you, it won't be that funny. So it's just good to keep your house tidy, to keep your house arranged, to keep your work area safe. Whatever you're working on, don't spill water. That is just the word for the day. Perfect simulation by Napo, telling us how we need to do things and telling us just exactly how we need to be safe and how to need to keep our safety hazards and keep away from hazards on the day. So right now we take a short commercial break, but when we come back, we have our guest for the day and we talk more about habits, DIY, and good vibes and feature, and so much more. Need I say more? Need I say more? We'll be right back.
At the Kenya Institute of Media and Technology, we are the gurus in the training of certificate and diploma in journalism, computer studies, business administration, hospitality management, travel and tourism management, clearing and forwarding, social work and community development, and electrical and electronics. Visit us at our head office at Mtihani House and Taveta Court, Nairobi. Kenya Institute of Media and Technology. Technology is power.
The boiling point mix.
Active Sounds DJ.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. This DJ is awesome. Crossing over. Crossing over. As we crossing over. Crossing over. Jesus taking over. Crossing over. Make it with a baby. Make it with a daddy. Activate.
Let go the wine. Dance with Christ like a sun you want shine. Active Sounds, them sister you want shine. Your biggest, baddest songs that on the era.
Take your career to the skies with Nairobi Aviation College. 2014 intake is in progress for certificate and diploma courses in aeronautical engineering, airport operations, general aviation piloting, electrical and electronics engineering, computer science and IT, hotel and catering, travel and tourism, journalism and mass communication, business management, supplies management, community development, clearing and forwarding, secretarial, CPA and ATC programs. Visit our campuses in Meru, Nairobi, Kisumu, Nakuru, Mombasa, Eldoret and Kitale. Our courses are IATA approved. Nairobi Aviation College. Profession is power.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you're keeping it Arise Africa, thank you so much for choosing Arise Africa to wake your morning with. And right now, this is our third segment, our guest for the day. He goes by the name Hinga Poet, but then I'll just let him introduce himself and tell us what he's all about. All I know is that he's multi-talented, he does poetry, but then no one gives a better description than the person himself. Thank you so much. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Thank you for inviting me to this show, first of all. Thank you to all the viewers viewing us. I'm Hinga Poet. I do spoken word, poetry. I love art, every form of art, even music. But I mainly concentrate on literature. Yeah, playwrights, yeah.
Deep people. I feel like you guys really write a lot. It takes a lot to write. So if you can please tell us what you're all about and the specific art that you do and why the name Hinga Poet.
Hinga is actually the name of my father. He believed so much in me since when I was young. And when I decided to take an artist name, I just decided his name and my name, which is also my grandfather's name, Hinga Mwanjori on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Just tell us your full names, like your full names, because guys, this is going to shock your lives.
Yeah. My actual full names on my ID are Erastus Mwanjori Hinga. But my artist name, I just decided I want to be an author, I want to be African, if my art goes out there to maybe Chile. I have this friend who is called the Pablo Neruda of Kenya. He's Eddie Ongili. He writes very good love poems. So if my art goes out there in Chile, if I become, you know, I want to say, this is the Hinga Mwanjori of Chile.
Proud of who you are, proud of Africa, which is all we're all about in Arise Africa, and that's why I don't forget to mention my Mwikamba name every morning, because I really love my name. I feel like we should all embrace our Africanness and just try to be more African and love what we are all about. So Hinga, tell us, for how long have you been doing this? Have you been doing poetry?
I've not done it on a higher level for long, maybe 1 year, performing 1 year. Writing, bado hata haijafika miaka 2.
But then you've been writing all the same. It has got my attention, so there must be something you're doing right.
Yeah, it just came out all at once and everyone started noticing.
Or is it just me, or was he shy? Help me ask questions. Hashtag Hinga, hashtag Arise Africa, and ask any question that you feel I need to ask him. But then as I wait for you to do that, if you can tell me, Hinga, what are some of the platforms you've performed on?
Almost every platform, yeah. Kwani, Fatumas, Poetry at the Park, Eve of Poetry. I've been invited to other shows outside. Almost. I don't think there's a show in Nairobi I haven't performed.
No, when you're here being modest. but then it's good. So you've definitely done a lot of literature. And is there any kind of work that you have out there that you feel like you've done?
Publishing, not yet, though. I've sent some work for the Story Moja Hay Festival competition. I've been longlisted among the 10 top poems. The theme is to be Kenyan, so that's an achievement. I've sent my poems out there to magazines. They are considering publishing spoken word for performance. I've considered recording, and very soon it's going to be out there with the people. They love it.
Wow. That is a lot of work. Tell us all about Story Moja, the Hayfest. That is it all about writing? Is it all about poetry? Do people submit other things apart from written work?
It's all about all forms of art, even graffiti. Every form of art is featured there. There are big guys who are coming to mentor poets there. You get to meet various artists from there. I think, there are big names, I think, yeah.
Wow. And you've been shortlisted among the top 10 poems.
Yeah.
I told you there's something you're doing right. Right now, I'll hold that thought. I hear that we have weather. It has been very unpredictable this week. But then if you can just catch up with it. That is the weather for the day. It's very cloudy and very cold today. It's very cold today. It's cloudy and cold. And I feel like this week has been very unpredictable because yesterday it was hot. I was in a short sleeve shirt and I was still melting. I couldn't survive it. But then that's how Nairobi looks like, a city under the sun. Not really under the sun today because it's really cloudy, but then the sun is up. It's a wonderful Wednesday. I actually love the day today. Crazy traffic on different roads, but then some roads are clear. But then you can see the weather today is fantastic. There is a lot of it's not fantastic for me. It's good for other people. Like my director loves the cold weather. I don't love the cold weather at all. I like it when it's hot and I can walk in a shirt. A shirt out there. But then this is how Nairobi looks like, and this is how the weather in Nairobi looks like. So you be sure to carry your trench coat, carry your jacket, carry your jumper, whatever makes you warm. Layer if you have to, because it's going to be a warm day. But then I'd advise have something that you can remove, because it's going to be hot during the day. I think that's how it does every morning. It's so cold, but then it's hot as you continue. So Hinga, we've known that there are a lot of things you're doing. That there's this Story Moja Fest that you've been shortlisted at one of the best top 10 poems, and you've also done you've performed on so many platforms. You've mentioned actually almost all the platforms that people perform in Nairobi. The Poetry at the Parks, the Fatuma's Voice, the Kwani. Have you been to Slam?
Slam, I've slammed almost, yeah.
How did you perform there? Because Slam is intense.
Slam was a bit. I was the first performer to go on stage. It was my first time. I just slammed once. So
it was your first time to
and
slam, and then you were the first person to open the. How did that feel?
Oh, scared. I had to.
It must have been nerve-wracking because everybody for the first time it's a challenge. I go back and review the footage of Arise Africa and when we were starting, and then the first time these lights went on and I was told, dude, you're live.
Yeah, live.
I almost lost my words. I'm happy I mumbled through, but then it's a good start because that's how people start. And how did that feel?
Oh yeah, it was always that feeling. You don't know, you have practiced for so long. And people have enjoyed that poem for a very minute. But this day,
when it comes to slamming,
it refused to come out.
But then did you freeze on stage?
Like the words freezed, I didn't freeze.
Wow. Wow. The words that said, the word froze, and then there was nothing you could do.
Despite the weather being hot.
Your words decided to but then sometimes you're all about that life. That's how we live and learn, because they're big. It was preparing for a bigger platform. I feel like every challenge, when it's too comfortable, it's boring.
It's also my first time here. I'm also freezing.
Don't freeze. This is so comfortable. You can have coffee. You can do backflips. Do whatever. So long as you're still within the frame, it's fantastic. This is a place to relax. I don't know if you should do sit-ups so that you feel relaxed.
You can stretch.
And you can stretch. You are free. We are free to stretch and do whatever.
Okay.
But then about your story, tell us how you began poetry. What inspired your beginning, your initial stages, when you felt like, this is what I want to do. I want to specialize in written work. I want to specialize in in poetry and telling my story in a different kind of way. What made you move in that direction?
I always view art as a form of discontentment. People are discontented with this form, like we want a change, we want something else. Yeah. Like Albert Einstein said, art introduced me to the revolution, and revolution introduced me to art. So art sees the future.
Hold back. Art introduced me to revolution.
Yeah.
And revolution introduced me to
art.
To art. So it was like a symbiote. I'm putting that on my quote another day. And it's Albert Einstein.
Yeah,
I'll Google it and get the precise quote and just quote it there. It's a fantastic quote.
Yeah, so like they say, change is something that changes the only constant. So things have to change. Like, we are born this generation, we see people have always done this way, and then we decide, no, people, it's not meant to be this way. You've got to start change, and words are powerful, and they will actually outlive us, and the same words will be said by other people. And in the beginning of the word, and this is the beginning of forming another new world, because the world is formed with the words.
Wow. Oh, but because that's exactly how it was formed, because God was like, let there be. Let there be. Those were all words, but then it's only that God was more powerful, and he's uncomparable, he's unbeaten. Yeah. But then they were words. I feel like they create a lot.
They create a lot.
Which is fantastic. That is what inspired you to start writing.
Yeah. You need to see change, and not just me. So many people are speaking, so many people are saying, this can't just be this way. We need to see things in another way. Yeah.
And is there a specific form of campaign that you're running through your words? Is there a specific theme that you're championing through your words?
Yeah. I'm championing a theme. We have formed an association, the Walking Poets Association. It's about Walking Poets.
Walking Poets Association.
Yeah, it's about healthy living, healthy eating. You see, so many people go to fast food restaurant. You don't know where your food has come from. Yeah, people dying of lifestyle diseases. These days, seeing a person above 50 years it's like a miracle.
Yeah, because actually even the lifespan has increased all the way to 45. I'm like, well, do you want to tell me I won't see my grandchildren? But then it's all about the things we choose to do. That's a really nice walk. Does it have like a day where you guys walk on the street and do a form of campaign, a form of awareness?
We just launched it this year, so we are looking for corporates to work with so that we can spread this message.
It's called Walking Poets.
Walking Poets Association.
A really noble point. Whenever you have something, be sure to post it on our wall, #AriseAfrica, and we'll be sure to see what we can do to be there. Because it's a really noble cause. It's all about health.
Yeah, it's all about health. We also campaign for elephants. We've done pieces for this nature saving,
conservation, because
it's very, very important. Beauty, it's beautiful. Like, you can't just come tell me that you see this beautiful buildings as more beautiful than that elephant in the jungle. I mean, you just can't compare. Yeah, people don't know even their natural beauty, just the human beauty. They don't know much about it. They just see expensive clothes. They think that is beauty. No, they just make up. No, we were born with a lot in us, more than we can make for ourselves. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't make things for ourselves, but before that, have you already respected that which you are given?
Yes, Mother Nature, because sometimes I feel like, especially in Africa, the whole of Africa, because in Kenya we've had poaching incidents. In South Africa, we've been talking about the Kruger National Park for so long and the rhinos being killed. And in Kenya, it's the elephant for ivory. It's all about making ornaments, it's all about making money with other things.
So
but then
sad.
we are making Mother Nature bleed.
Yeah, just in the next, if we continue this way, I don't know what will be. Earth will be just
because our children not have something to inherit, and I feel like that's a campaign that needs to be out there. So you can see even poets are crying for conservation of our environment, conservation of our animals, making sure that our wildlife is there, so that people can say it existed. We don't want a dinosaur case when you say lions used to be there, you know, elephants used to be there, rhinos used to be there, and nobody knows what those are. Because
it might be humans used to be there.
In future, I think we're like the dominant species. We are killing all these people, all these things, destroying all of them. But then you don't want it to get to that point where there's nothing to live for, where there's nothing to, which is a really noble cause. What was the campaign?
No, the campaign we have just joined with other organization. Fatuma's Voice does that very often. We do pieces for, and on 4th October there is a walk all over Nairobi.
4th October.
Yeah, for the
elephants. On my calendar.
For the elephants, yeah, they have organized it. Yeah, and we're gonna go perform pieces, go mobilize people. We need people to know, cause nobody else can protect us. Because sincerely, we have waited for the government for so long. Do we still continue waiting?
And sometimes I feel this all waiting for the government. It's not about what they can do, because the government, I believe, is you and I.
Yeah,
because we form the government. We form the government. I feel like sometimes when we cry, oh, the government needs to do. Yes, they have responsibilities and they have obligations. Like we cannot create the roads. There's something budgeted for them to do that. But then the roads are not going to be there. Then we have litter, and we say, oh my God, the government is not maintaining the roads. I feel like sometimes we need to step up and do some things for ourselves, because we've got all the resources, we've got all we need. All we need is ourselves.
Yeah, we can rise.
And our hard work.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is a noble cause. We don't need to wait for the government, because I believe that we are the government.
We are the government. Just that we have been tied our hands on our behinds by various things that we think are important.
True.
Yeah. You think that is so important to earn 80K per month, yet you don't consider that you might end up wasting all this money in a hospital by the time you are 40, treating a disease like cancer.
Yeah, and walking healthy.
So you see, it's important for us to educate the people, to tell us the things that are, to tell them the things that are important. Before we come to these other things that we value so much, we first inform them you are given this life to enjoy, and enjoying is not just about material things. You don't have to have all these riches. Yeah.
And those are so many contents that I feel like are very important, and I love the things you stand for, like health, you know, conservation of our environment, the things that we actually need to survive, you know, our normal surviving. Could you say that inspires everything you do?
Yeah, like the continuance of the human race, not just Kenyan people, the human race in one unity and peace. That inspires a lot of my work. Though sometimes I also entertain with love poems, of course.
Oh yeah, of course you must have that emotional side, the love side. Talking about love poems, are you taking? Putting you on the spot there. You should show your face.
I hope she's not watching.
I hope she's watching so that she can comment and ask you questions that she knows how.
As for being taken, let me say I'm almost being taken.
Yes, drink coffee about it.
Let's drink coffee about it.
Because I feel like, you know, when in our life there's so many different aspects of ourselves and of our story, because there's this desire that drives you. There's this change that you feel, oh, I need to advocate this, I need to change this in the world. As a person, what I bring to the table is this and this and this, and this is all I can offer to Africa, this is all I can offer to Kenya, this is all I can offer to the world. And you know, I feel like sometimes we have that story. And talking about change and things that you need to change, are there specific habits that you like?
Myself, I like carrying a notebook, though I never carried any today. because sometimes I just get inspired on the high. Like today morning I was inspired.
If
by
you
a
get
piece
inspired, yeah, just flip this one of mine. It has so many pages.
It has so
There's
many
a pen
pages.
here. Just start writing. I won't interrupt.
Okay, so I like carrying a book and a pen for just writing. Maybe I get inspiration. Yeah, and I also love reading a lot. Reading, it's important for anyone who wishes to do any form of written art. There's no shortcut.
Yeah, true.
There's no shortcut.
Reading is for everyone. Even if you need to speak well, you need to read, listen, and communicate.
Books increase your knowledge. Books are very important, more important than anything else. Even if you go digital, those books.
E-books. There's always e-books.
Yeah, there's always e-books. But books, knowledge, people have researched, people have thought. Books are
important.
The most important. Yeah. If I were to go to heaven, I'll just say, give me a library.
Don't worry. Cast me to the library side.
I'm in heaven in the books.
That is really nice. I'm not a big reader though. I just read.
Yeah.
I read a lot, but I'm not a big reader.
The
you know, people get to the bus and, you know, I'm there reading the only book I know how to, the very common one, Facebook. And then other people are reading, you know, a whole novel for 800 pages and
they are flipping.
And they are flipping pages and getting really inspired and putting markers in there and highlighting. That's a good way to start. I read my concentration. Where?
Take a sip.
My concentration span is very short. I can't do a long book in a short period of time because I'll just lose it. I get distracted this fast. It's as simple as a snap and I'm distracted.
Okay, so maybe there are other things you do.
Yeah, there are other things I do.
You do music. Music is also a form of reading.
Yes, I speak publicly. I'm a
knowledge.
public speaker. I feel like sometimes I feel the need to speak, and you know, I love it. We'll get our habits. This is just a compilation of what I need to, you know, to tell people out there. Good habits, bad habits, we have them all. But first, we get our habits. Wow, I'm seeing traffic. I'm seeing traffic now. Before we get our habits, let me just see how our roads look like. And out there, that must be Wayaki Way or Uhuru Highway. That is Wayaki Way. Yes. Coming into town, the traffic is moving. I can see it's flowing now. I'm so jealous. When I was coming into stuck, the guy is moving now into town, especially the roundabout around University, the one that joins University Way, Lower State House Road, and Wayaki Way and Uhuru Highway is flowing. You can see this side, the one that's coming to town and going through Uhuru Highway is flowing. The roundabout is stuck, but then they're just giving way for the rest to flow. I'm pretty sure when the police prompts them to move, they will move. And there's like the last lane going into Wayaki Way is free. I can see motorists struggling to find their way on that street because it's free. Because it's free now. And wow, there's a traffic snarl up on Lower State House Road and Nyerere Road. So if you're just about to leave the house and you don't know which way to use an alternative route, if you're in a hurry because there's traffic, you will spend at least 30 minutes to get to town at that pace. There's a long queue on Lower State House Road, on Nyerere Road, but then not that much, not compared to any other day. The crazy days we've had, like yesterday, traffic was crazy. Today isn't up. It's not that crazy. But then Lower Nyerere Road seems to be stuck. It's a two-way traffic, so it's crazier than the rest of the highways. Getting into the highway is crazy, but then that is just how Nyerere Road looks like, and I'm getting a good view from live here from ATV, and we are getting it here live on Arise Africa. If you've not left the house, you know the roads to pick. You're seeing your screen, and you just know the roads to use. Choose wisely, especially if you're driving. If you're coming by the normal public transport, you really have no choice. You have to follow the routes. But if you're driving, use alternative routes. And that is just how what we had in our traffic today. Is just good to keep us updated. They're as random as they come. Whenever I get traffic feeds, I just like telling guys what traffic looks like at that moment. How was your traffic in the morning?
Yeah, just Thika Road.
Oh, it's Thika Road.
High.
But then yesterday we had I also come from Thika Road, but then it's crazy snarl up in the morning nowadays. I don't know if it's end month and guys have been paid and they feel like, oh my god, now I'll drive to work because there's just traffic. I don't know. It's flowing. You won't spend more than 30 minutes, but then it's 15 minutes from 10 minutes from Roasters to town. If you spend 30 minutes, you've overstayed. You've delayed.
So the road is also getting cramped. Yeah.
No, cars are increasing every day. People have bought cars. There's a road. So you see, sometimes we just make our own problems. I don't know if we could all choose to go. If our public transports were better, we could all choose.
Or maybe buy bikes. Why not do bikes?
No. There's a town I've been to. I've been to Kakamega. We have traffic made out of bicycles, not motorbikes, bicycles. It's crazy. You can't control that. It's just like human traffic now on wheels. It's going to be cramped up. I don't know. We should just maintain our cars and maintain, good lanes and just be good drivers out there. We won't have traffic if nobody has bruised the other, bumper to bumper. Keep good distance. That's all we need on that road for sanity. So now we catch up with the habits and let's know what we had as our habit for the day. That's where people are seek attention in all the wrong places. Restaurant sipping, it's over, it's done. The drink is done. It's a yogurt, it's done.
But
it's a smoothie, it's done. There's nothing you can do about it. But then I remember when I was young, growing up, the good old days, when you used to drink sour milk mala, and they used to come in those Tetra packs. I used to be done, and I'm like, there's mala in here. You tear it up and continue. Because when growing up, it was so much fun to tear it up. But then when you grow up, you grow up and get mature and stop doing some things in public. I think you can do them in the house. I don't know. Will you be disturbing anyone? I don't think so.
But why should they not be disturbed anyway? It's not your business.
It gets so annoying. Imagine if I was doing this. This
no,
is how I normally do.
Don't.
But then I decide to do this.
Oh.
It would disturb you. You'll be like, why is this guy sipping coffee that loudly? I know you're having coffee. Stop sipping it loudly. You see, it's annoying.
No, that's
now. Do you agree with me?
That and I agree.
But then, if there are any other habits out there that you think we need to cover, that you think people do out there and they really annoy you, you can get conversational. Hashtag Arise Africa, Aviation TV Kenya on Facebook, at Aviation TV Kenya on Twitter. The numbers are on your screen so that you know Arise Africa. It's Arise Africa. That's the Arise we're talking about. Hashtag Arise Africa. Get the conversation going. Ask Hinga any question. We are catching up with Hinga today. He is a poet, a very silent person, but then his words run deep. You're really shy, Hinga.
I'm shy.
Yes, you are. It's
my first time on camera.
But then it's just always, there's always a first time. But then I'm enjoying your company. Your words run deep. The things you stand for really inspire me. It's a good story. And if you feel it's a good story and there's something that he's doing right and there's something that he's doing right, you can remember hashtag Arise Africa, hashtag Hinga, and tell him, ask him any questions. I'm still waiting for your questions though. People are just liking the page and and watching. But then I'd like to know what do you feel you need to ask him? What do you think I've forgotten? And I've got a lot of questions, but then what do you think I've forgotten? What angle would you like me to take? Hashtag Arise Africa, hashtag Hinga, and ask him any questions since we are catching up with him. He is a poet. He's performed on different platforms. Poetry at the Park, Fatuma's Voice. He's been on Slam Africa. He said it was nerve-wracking. If you're following our conversations, he's written a piece for Sema Moja.
Story
Moja initiative that is all about showcasing different kind of art, and he'll tell us more about Story Moja, and you can follow him. Do they have a link?
Story Moja, yeah, I guess
it would be nice if you sent the link, on our page, Aviation TV Kenya, and hashtag Arise Africa, so that people can see what we're talking about. The link will be sent, so keep on looking, be on the lookout, and be on our page. Hashtag Arise Africa is the trending topic, so is the trending tag. But then we'll be talking about different things. If you like anything on Arise Africa, if there's something we feel like we need to give you more of, just tell us. We will be sure to see what we can do to make sure you have a good time. So Hinga, you said you do a lot of literature. You've done a lot of poetry. You've done a lot of performance here and there in Nairobi. If I'd ask you how much you'd pay yourself for a concert, if you were to have your own, a night with Hinga, Words with Hinga, or whatever tag you'd like to go for your concert, for your lounge, or because poetry is not hyped, so it can be a lounge. That performance lounge. How much would you pay yourself?
In terms of money?
Yes, like you need to eat, right? Like how much would you budget for the show to make it happen? How you'd like it happen? How much would you pay yourself? How much would you like people to pay to see you?
Well, words are priceless.
They are priceless, but then sometimes you have to put tags on them. Not really showing the worth of your words, because words run deep. You can't pay for talent. You can't pay for life. You can't pay for good health. You can't pay for living. But then there are those specific tags that you have so that you can help promote, can help grow, like talents. Because sometimes I feel like we need a boost to control our talents. We need a boost. So how much would you pay yourself?
It depends on where I'm performing. That's a very hard question.
You've never thought about it?
Yeah.
You've never thought about it? But then, because it's just good. Because sometimes I feel like artists in general really go through a lot to get the gigs. But then they get the gigs, they're underpaid. Because there's a lot of that comes into a performance. There's a lot of writing, there's a lot of practicing. If you're doing something with a performance kind of with instruments, you need to book the place. There's a lot of investment that goes into making something happen, making that 3 minutes count. Making that 4 minutes, making that 10 minutes. Some pieces are long. I've seen pieces that run for 10 minutes. Making that 10 minutes worth your time, because I feel like there's a lot of investment. So when you have that, it's a good food for thought for the food for thought.
Yeah.
And interesting about that question, somebody asked it live from home and asked poets that I had 3 days ago. Is it a week? Yeah, a week ago. And asked them how much they pay themselves. And I was like, wow, that's an interesting question. Because, to see how much,
What did they answer?
They placed tags on them, and they were like, you really can't pay. You really can't pay talent. You really can't put monetary tags on, on talent and on words and on the depth of words. But then you can do something to support. You
can do something.
So they had their price tag, but I feel like you need to know how much you'd pay yourself. Away from money, because it's never about the money either way. It's about making it happen. It's about telling that story and making the change. I feel that's how best. If you could have told me that's about making the change, it could have been a really good answer. That's how I'll smartly. That's the Oscar award-winning kind of answer. If you could put me on the spot and ask me that, Mukamba, how much would you pay yourself? I'd be like, yeah, I'll put a tag on it, but words cannot be paid and get all Oscar on it and say your dreams are valid kind of tags. And have a trending quote. But it's good. That's what Arise Africa is all about. It's about telling the story, how you feel it, and from your own point of view. So we're about to go to the DIY, and the DIY segment is a segment where we show some of the things that you can do yourself at home, that you can do yourself at work. You don't really need a technician, like fixing a light bulb, changing that plug, your passy. But then until recently, I used to take mine to the fundi. I'm so embarrassed. But then I didn't know. I thought everything electronic will give you a good shock. When you're growing up, you're told, uskashike yeni stima, itakupiga shock. But then we feel like those are some of the things that you need to piece together. And what would you do yourself in the house that you feel you don't need a technician, you don't need someone to do it for you, just do it yourself?
I'm not very good with my hands. Unfortunately.
You don't even cook?
I cook, I wash.
Yes, exactly. Those are the things.
I wash my clothes, wash my
hands.
But anything electronic wiring,
and don't try wiring anything on the wall. Leave it there. Anything that can be unplugged.
But the good thing is my girlfriend can.
Wow. You just say that on air. You're brave. I give you that. You're brave. But then let's just say the do-it-yourself that we have for this week. It's a very common one.
First, gather your supplies for a well-stocked shoe shine kit. You don't need much, just a good brush, a soft cloth, an old sock will do, and a can of shoe polish. The first step in a well-polished shoe is to remove any dirt, mud, salt with a brush or damp rag. If you used a damp rag, wait until the shoe is dry until proceeding. Step 2. Rub your cloth into the polish to acquire a small amount on the cloth. Step 3. Apply the polish to your shoe in small circles and in small amounts. Make sure to cover the entire shoe with polish. This is a good time to whistle your favorite tune or watch a marathon session of Lonesome Dove. Don't forget to apply polish to the other shoe. Step 4. Grab your handy shoe shine brush and brush the entire shoe vigorously. The brushing removes excess polish so that only a small amount remains on the shoe. The brushing also creates friction, which causes heat, and that heat is what gives your shoe its shine. The more heat, the brighter the shine. Step 5. Time to get that mirror shine. To make your shoe extra shiny, breathe hot air onto your shoe as if you're trying to fog a mirror, and then immediately brush vigorously. Repeat until you get the shine you want. I always like to finish off my shoes by buffing them in my DIY shoe shine box that I made last year. Click the link for instructions on how to make your own.
Alright, well there's how you shine a shoe. It's really not that hard, and it may seem like a small detail, but it's one of those things that can really make the difference in helping you look presentable and professional. And besides that, it'll extend the life of your shoe so you get more out of your investment. And also there's just something about a well-polished shoe that makes you feel like $1,000,000. So until next time, this is Brett McKay telling you to stay manly.
I just like how dramatic he was.
That last part.
That is too much drama. But then that is how you make your shoes shine, because those boots were not new.
Ambition. You know,
Yeah,
I
but-
used to do it in high school. I used to place it on dust on the ground. That brush, that making shine like.
Oh, the final part.
The final part. I see he has a new technique.
Yes, but then I don't know about misting my shoes. But then how I do to make mine shine is that I've got a separate brush for shining. But then most of the time I find myself running, so I end up going to the shoe shiner's place that is really close to work, because I run in the morning and all that shining will go to waste. But what I do when I've got all the time, when I'm shining my shoes, especially for Sunday, for Saturday, for weekends when I'm going out, I just polish and then do the circle business, you know, with clothes, putting kiwi on top of it, and whatever polish I find, because sometimes I go places and there's no kiwi. I use the other polishes that are there. But what I do to make it shine is that after I've done removing the extra polish and it's almost shining, what I do to give it that extra glow, I take a socks and then I wear the sock on my hand, then I rub it like fast, but then not so roughly. So that's how you make mine shine.
Okay.
Tip right there. That's how you do it yourself. That's how you do it yourself. And Arise Africa is all about doing it yourself. And you feel like you've got your technique that is thorough. He had the dust one, you know, putting the brush on dust, making it. The whole intention was to make it drier. Why are you putting it on dust?
That's what people doing it in high school.
And then you started doing it.
And they were shining by there like new.
I'll try, but then there's no dust.
Black ones.
I'll have to look for dust. So let me just stick to my sock one. But then when the day I go out and we are outdoor, I'll try and make mine shine with dust. And so it's after you've done the kiwi, it's your last step.
Yeah, your last step. Dust a little on the ground. Make it shine.
and make it shine. Different techniques right there. People are different. What's your technique? What's your different? Do you mist it and start to shine? Do you wear a sock like me and start to to shine? Do you put it on dust? Do you just stroke it with that brush so hard until it shines? What's your technique? Let us know. Hashtag Arise Africa. You can let us know anything about Arise Africa, anything that you talk about, anything that you feel that we need to show, especially in the do-it-yourself segment, in the habits. What habits don't you like? Let us know. Let us know so that we see what you can do to tell people out there not to do. But then remember, the habits just opinions. Some people find some habits not annoying. Some people find them normal.
Yeah.
But then some people find them annoying, and that's all that matters. When some people find them annoying, it means there's something wrong about it, because people have different opinions. It's just good to be on the safe side, even as you be yourself. So Hinga, I've just gotten your story, and I love what you stand for. If anybody was watching out there, he knows what you stand for. What word would you give to any person who wants to start poetry, who wants to start spoken word?
Okay, if you want to do it, you have got first of all to read a lot. Then keep writing. Give your work to people who have done it for. You have mentors, they've done for a long time, so they can guide you on where you are going wrong, what you need to do to improve your work. You have workshops like Hisia. It's a quarterly event. We get to mentor people. People get even to produce books from Hisia. You can go to events, you see how people perform, how people get to work on the art. You can ask them, you can ask those who have polished the art how they work on it, and you'll be able to improve. But you first need to go slow. Don't come here high-headed that you are going to come this day and you've got the best words, because when somebody produces his first work of art, you first think, wow, this is the best. This is Shakespeare incarnation.
Yes, this is a masterpiece.
And people tell you, no, not yet, keep working hard. Art will hurt you.
Yes.
And it will bleed.
And actually does. It actually does, because I feel like any form of artistry, any form of performer, there's this ego they have, because to have the guts to go on stage, there must be some amount of ego that is boosting you. Feel like, I need to do this. I need to show them how awesome this material is.
That inspiration sometimes brings some ego. You think you know it all. But some guys have been here for like so many years. They have got that experience. They tell you.
And they're chilled out.
Cut out this. But even if they tell you, you have to check, is it working with me? Because then you might be having a new thing.
You might be carving your own niche now.
You might be carving, so that will be guided, but also guide yourself. Listen to yourself, because you have that higher inspiration in you that art doesn't just come this way. Most of people will tell you, I just woke up at night with a new piece. I don't know how it came about, how I started writing, but now it's here. That's inspiration, because not anyone can be creative, but not anyone can be a poet or an artist. That's the truth. So if you see you have that inspiration, go out for it. Don't mind about the money. You stayed for long without making any money till you decided it's a hobby. Just do it for fun.
Yes.
It's what I do when people are going for concerts. Me, I go to perform.
Yeah, you know.
And that's me.
Because that's how you do it. And there are so many points that you've said. They're keeping notes. I hope you're keeping notes of what Hinga was saying, because they were fantastic points. You know, have your piece and go through it.
Go through it.
You know, what was next? If I followed through. So it was have your piece and go through it. Get mentors, and because they've been there for so long. Try to see what they've done. Try to
get other people's work.
Get other people's work and go through them. You know, and see what they do different and how is yours different, and try to see how you can mold yours. Yes, always desire, have that motivation, always have that push to do better.
Sometimes you might find that you are copying other people's work due to you have gone on stage, of seen that guy, wow, I want to be like him. He has performed so well.
Yes.
And then you go on stage, you are just exactly, don't feel bad about it. It happens. It has happened to almost every performer. I tell you.
It has happened to everybody. People tend to be
that's
like
how
mentors. The people you look up to.
Away.
I don't know. People somehow look like the people they look up to.
Yeah, because first of all, you have to love someone's art. You have got to love art before you start doing it. there's these guys who brought you on stage. This guy is still performing on stage and is decided, I want to do it. So first of all, you tend to be like that guy. There's no other people tell that point tell you become hurt. No, you are trying to be like this big name. You become hurt. You might even consider stopping.
Because if I'm not original, what's the point?
What's the point?
Yes.
But you might stop for a moment, then find yourself coming back in your own original way.
But then I feel like everybody has been compared, because I remember even when Oprah was starting, back in the day, she was compared to some other anchor. What's the name? I've forgotten. But then she was compared to some other anchor who was doing a talk show. And when people started, like, whose singer was compared? When Chris Brown started back in the day, he was compared to Usher. I know, and when Usher started, he was compared to Michael Jackson. There's a lot of comparison. But then I think after experience and after some times of you doing your craft, you start forming the you. You break away and find, I'm better at this. We are alike at this, but then I'm better at this. This is my curve. This is my niche. So as you've heard it from Hinga, don't be discouraged. If you're doing something and you feel like I'm not doing it as original as I should be, don't quit. Don't quit. Keep on doing it. Just find different ways of doing it. Find yourself in doing whatever you look. It's normal to have mentors that you actually are exact.
It's very normal.
It's very normal. And thank you so much for that pointer, because some people really feel bad when you're told, you are exactly, you should be original. You are exactly like so and so.
You've got to accept. I've got pieces I've written in the voice of Sudi Bricks, because I loved what he did on stage, and I want to see this. I want to put exactly the way he arranges his words. Not exactly, they are my words, but the way he arranges them on stage. That's what I want to do. You get someone to tell you and you agree. Yeah, that's what I did. It's forgivable.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I actually unapologetically did it because I like his work. But then after some time, you just find your way in there.
Then from there, you'll be able to get your out.
I'm so excited to see how well you perform. Like, I feel like you're going to surprise us here because you're a very chilled out person. Your words run so deep. I'm so curious to hear what you're all about. I will be performing one of those poems that you've said you had. Because I'm just about to send to the performance lounge. But then before that, I usually have a segment called the Good Vibes. Good Vibes is just a very unserious segment that it's not unserious. People do serious covers.
Yeah.
People take other people's work, like they were talking about taking other people's work. They're original singers, they have their own work, but then they feel like this work was done really well. I feel like interpreting it this way. Because sometimes I believe like covers, people interpret the songs the way they feel it. Because when we all listen to If Tomorrow Never Comes, there's a way I'll feel it, there's a way you'll feel it. Like your interpretation will be different from mine.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like covers bring out all that interpretation, and that is what we had for the Good Vibes before Hinga comes back with a performance and a feature and more of Arise Africa. So keep it Arise Africa. We go on Good Vibes.
Can't read my mind, I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find.
Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions.
Feel the rain on your skin, no one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins,
the rest is still unwritten.
I break tradition, and sometimes my tries are outside the lines. Whoa, and we've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. No, staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find.
Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin.
No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins.
The rest is still unwritten.
The rest is still unwritten. Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find.
Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions.
Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is
where your book begins.
Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins.
The rest is still unwritten.
Oh, unwritten. The rest is still unwritten. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins.
The rest is still unwritten.
This poem is called The Untitled. So this poem shows you that we are attached to so many things on this ground that maybe are not ours. Something like an exam might have discouraged you. So this poem shows you that you are above those things. These things are just created by men like you. You are above those things, The Untitled. Welcome. If this poem had a title, then it would be awesome. But you see, just like this poem, you have no title cause you are undefined, you are infinite. Maybe they call you boss, pauper, but that is them. So who are you? You are awesome no matter how many O's you got in your exams, be it in chemistry, physics, geography, history, name it. You matter more than chemistry knows. You are energy more than physics can define. Your geography is historical, not even a archaeologist can date it. Your future is now and your past is then. Never mind my grammatical errors. You are neither black, brown, fat, ugly, slim. More than the language you speak, more than the adjectives. You are not what they tell you you are. You are what you define yourself to be. You see, you are made of the same substance that makes mountains stand tall. Your hair has got the elements of the peacock's feathers. Be proud. In you, you've got the lights of 1,000 suns that can twinkle, twinkle, light up the whole universe. Your dreams have got wings like eagles can fly to perch on huge trees and create life. You've got friends in the lion, the cheetah, the leopard, the elephant. Be like them, walk like them. You've got a voice that can save a tree, but they won't show you this on TVs. All they'll show you are politics as news. anything new there. You do not need to watch any news. You are the news, the TV that can make changes all over the world. If only you could view your inner self, your power. Smile, be happy, because the stars are jumping, dancing, glancing, jumping at your beautiful teeth. You are the best poem, a masterpiece of creation, not in any language, Kikuyu, Dholuo, Latino, Swahili, English, name it, but in the language of nature. You are more than your likes on Facebook, more than your followers on Twitter. These things don't define you. You define them. You are more expensive than any money can be. No expensive clothes have ever been more beautiful than the natural body of a person. Trust me, ask anyone around. So be humble like the ground that allows you to step on it and reach for the moon that surmounts you. You are awesome. Thank you. This next piece is in Sheng. Inaitwa One Word. Hii piece niliandika wakati niliona tribalism Kenya imezidi, watu wamegawanika, watu wako divided along religions, along tribal lines, wako divided cause politicians wako hii side na wako hii side. Inaitwa One Word. Karibu. Niite cannibal cause hii word itatika bite of stupidity out of you, ka Suarez. Najua utakasirika sana nikikushow religion yako, tribe na race ni the same as another person, but sure it is. So sioni haja kunoda men after kumaliza prayer, but wezi mgote my girlfriend Amina, ukimchekia amevalia buibui, unageuka Spiderman na kuspread hate speech all over the networks na websites. Hii word ni bita kuliko marobaine, but healing power yake inaweza unganisha the 42 tribes. Hii word itakutoa tint kwa macho, waza kumwona Verasidika ka sister kwa society iko sick, na kwa kumjuni watu tasaidika. Hii word itakukwengeza macho, waza kumwona mnyama ka Fred na niba ka brother au sister. Hii word iko more powerful than atomic bombs za Hiroshima na Nagasaki, na za turn boss arrows, grenades na machetes into ashes. Hii ndo situation na lazima tu preach, ndo syllabus tunafaa kuteach. Tunahitaji one word, please. Utashangaa sana ukidhani hii word collect in marriages, but it escaped na kuingia hadi prisons. Haingetoshengi relationships, ikadive na kudrown in the sea of humanity. Ni word na potential kukufanya wacha kushangilia World Cup, fikiria juu mseturukana ana kikombe cha maji. Word selfless cause kichukua cha selfish chenye itapatikana ni many religions and colors holding hearts, which iko more beautiful than the rainbow, the moon and the stars on one canvas. One word ilitumwa to make the universe. So mimi nikisoma au kusikiza word who's developed many universes in my mind, na zote hujoinwa na one word, love. Love haijui class, socio aliosoma peke yao. Kwa geography imepita all maps and boundaries. Ni word imepita chemistry cause ni universal solvent, na dissolve all the internal stains ndani ya roho. Inaweza change our history through forgiveness. Our grandfathers were slaves and colonial masters cause chenye walizaa ni masters. Universal love, kila mtu akiconnect kwake atakuwa church na power. Upendo ni mti hauna mwisho, ukipanda nao kabisa utafika heaven. Ni mchongoma una miba inadunga, lakini music unatoa iko so sweet. One word. Santeni.
Wow. I love the second. What was the first line in that second piece?
Niite cannibal cause hii word itatika bite of stupidity out of you, ka Suarez.
That is just the line for the day. I love this first piece though, the unwritten. It was very intense. It was very thought of. It was really about inspiring people to be who they are and not be afraid to be who they are. And I love it because you were telling guys, you know, what were you thinking when you're writing Unwritten?
The Untitled.
Untitled.
Yeah, it's cause someone might want to refer to you to as this, but the next day will be something else. So you find you are not fixed. Yeah, you are like a clay that can be molded into anything as you can define yourself. You define yourself. Don't let people define you, fix you into one place, into a box. You are this, you can never. Like people who failed exams, that was inspired. Sometimes they feel like I can't make it in life. But you have been given a lot in you. You are awesome as it. you have been you are a part of God, a soul that has been here since the beginning. You have the breath of God, so don't let man limit you, any man. Whether you are a street on the beggar, you can be anything. You are awesome.
You're awesome, and I really loved it. It was called Untitled.
Yeah,
because people had to get their own meanings out of it and get their own.
Yeah,
their
you've
own
got
way
to define yourself.
Yes, to define whatever they feel that is all about.
Yeah.
And on the second piece, the one it was in Sheng.
Yeah, one word.
One word, but then in that piece there was a lot of campaign about people accepting different people.
Yeah, joining together.
Yes, joining different diverse cultures and different races. That is what I've gotten from my point of view. But then, what were you thinking, especially when you're writing that piece?
Oh, what I was thinking is like, your opinion sometimes it's best to keep themselves to yourself. There's no need for me to come pushing myself on you, like trying to tell you are supposed to be this. Maybe you are a different faith, and I come to know your faith is not good. You can listen if you want, but there's no need for me to go taking a pangas just because you're someone
exactly
different.
because I feel like our differences make who we are because we think differently.
Yeah.
Because I like how because I've got my own mindset on how I do things.
Yeah.
But then if you all think like me, there will not be.
Yeah.
There's
no need like coming to tell you a poet is more important than a news anchor. Like you all need each other. Like
yes,
we are all equal. We are just different. Yeah. No need of feeling important because of something as little as a tribe or demeaning
exactly.
others.
And I feel like that is what a society needs to learn out there.
Yeah,
because it's not always about where you come from or what race you are. Nobody cares about that. We all care of the person you are. We respect the places you come from. We respect our different backgrounds. We respect our different races. We respect how different we are. But then we really don't care if in it all, you've got all this hate. You've got all this. You despise others. Sometimes I feel like Africa should arise. I love it. I love that piece because I felt like Africa should arise from all this. All this.
In fact, the piece that has been shortlisted in the Story Moja Festival is called To Be African. It's somehow controversial because it considered our background is not as important as to where you are headed, the issues that you have to cover at present.
Do you have a blog where you have all these pieces written?
Yeah, I have a blog. I have a Facebook page. Liberty Poems. LI.
Would you mind like posting your sending a link of your blog
on my blog at Hinga Monjoria WordPress.
Yes,
I also have short stories there.
Because it will be really nice to read some of those wisdom. Because you say you're a shy person, but your words really run deep. I've been so inspired today. I felt like the cause you're going for is really noble. Especially when you talked about health, you talked about conserving the environment, you talked about the different people and trying to channel different campaigns. I loved it. I've enjoyed the performance land. Thank you for inviting me into your performance land because this is your space. This is your space. I just intrude so that I can end the show. So you've been, if you're just joining us, this has been Arise Africa. I've been joined by Hinga. He has been our poet for the day. He is a poet. He performs everywhere. He'll be giving us updates so that you know what he's all about. Will you be posting what you're all about on what you're doing, what you're about to do on our page, hashtag Arise Africa. But please also follow him on Twitter. Hinga, that word. Mongoria. They're just embarrassing myself. Hinga Monjoria. On Twitter, it's at Hinga Monjoria. The words are on the screen. Make sure you follow him and get to know what he's about. Follow him up and get to see more awesome pieces when he's in his element. I'm pretty sure sometimes you get dramatic. If you want to know all that about him, follow him. And also remember to hashtag Arise Africa. If there's any poet out there that feel we need to cover that you've not seen, that you've heard about, and he's awesome and he's fantastic and has a story, you just send him on our link and just communicate with us. Hashtag Arise Africa. Tell us about you, and we'll be sure to have you here. We are awesome like that. We are cool like that. So we're about to end. the performance lunch just reminds me I'm always about to end. And before we do that, there's some special people I like thanking, because this is not a one-man show. As you have seen, there's a lot of busyness when you're not in the studio. There's the editors, there's the people who make this happen, my cameramen, and people who direct me, my directors. So I'd like to thank Alex Munyao, the man behind the camera. Today he was manning the spy camera and the camera at the gym. So it was Alex Munyao. I had Kefa Mito making sure we have clear footage from the studio. He had me here in studio, showing me which camera to use, what to say. And I had Inonda directing me today, which was fantastic. We had Rose Matimo editing some of the things that you saw, the health tip. We've got Immaculate, who also edited some of the habits and doing simulations of some of this thing. And even as we went to collect news, we've got people who were saying this is important, this one is not. And all that team makes it happen. There's Joel, who's always in charge of my broadcasting. There's Sefo, there's Kevin, the man who is in charge of graphics, and a lot of those other people that I like to give credit to and say asante for making Arise Africa happen. And if you joined us today and don't know what it's all about, Arise Africa happens every morning, from 6:30 to 9. To 9 we have different guests. We've got different stories every day. We've got a lot of things happening. So be sure to stay tuned tomorrow, same time, same place. But for now, kwaheri, we leave you with a feature. But Arise Africa continues with more programming on ATV. Bye-bye. Bye.
In Zambia, two very different worlds exist next to each other. The capital of Lusaka is bustling with opportunity and commerce. But only 50 kilometers away, rural life is difficult and many are subsistence farmers. Helping these communities gain food security and financial independence is critical to Zambia's future.
Lusaka and Chanyanya and other rural areas like Chanyanya are totally different places. If you're in Lusaka, you're talking about proximity to schools, proximity to health facilities.
Business here is very fast because it's a capital city. Everybody is employed here. So actually the business itself is very, very fast compared to go to the countryside.
But if you get into a rural area like Chanyanya, these people are sort of cut off from some of the privileges that the people in Lusaka enjoy.
Chanyanya is just about 50 kilometers from Lusaka. But if you compare in terms of infrastructure, there is very little in Chanyanya.
Most of the people here, financially, they are not stable.
The life expectancy is maybe 37 years old. I mean, that's too young for somebody to die.
The distance the children cover to go to school, they have to walk a distance of 15 kilometers.
And this can only be changed by projects like this one.
People have got to see that they have a role to play in their own development.
In 2007, the community of Chanyanya formed a cooperative and secured a water right to irrigate their land. They asked Infraco Africa to develop the infrastructure to draw water from the nearby Kafui River. There are two sides to the pilot project, an 8-hectare irrigated market garden and a 148-hectare commercial farm. In the irrigated market garden, each community member has a plot of land and water access. They can now grow vegetables all year round to feed their families and sell to local markets.
Welcome to the market garden. When you look around here, you find that there are cabbages and rape and okra.
Tomatoes, maize, and these things are really helping the community.
Here, each person has got a choice of crop.
And usually the choices are around what is selling. The irrigation system in the market garden is excellent because all you do is plug in your pipe and you can irrigate.
You can simply get everything you want in a short time.
I train farmers to say you have to take farming as a business.
Ngatulavuya ino mukachishanga votije vamana valoba kupandulwita onoka ijirishire na muntu uli wakaiya then nakulijiruvite nchutashika votulasa wamwipusha kamba ino apa chinakuchiwona kuti chili kuti.
The best poverty reduction strategy in my understanding is where you empower the people. You give the people the necessary skills so that at some point they are able to take care of themselves.
We don't want to be dependent on foreign aid every time. We want to be self-sufficient.
The commercial farm uses modern technology to grow wheat and soya beans on land that's owned by the community cooperative. Cooperative members receive a rent and a share in the profits, and a commercial farmer oversees the operation, employing locals and teaching them advanced farming techniques. The project was financed with loans from developmental investors. Once these are repaid, the community members will own and manage the farm themselves.
We're standing here in the fields of the Chanyanya Infrastructure Company, which is part of the commercial side of the whole project. Behind us is the wheat field that we just started harvesting today. These are throughput machines. They're designed to gobble up the acres and pour out the grain.
The harvest is the most important thing because we all grow things in order to get a good harvest. And the profitability is actually dependent on the harvest. People have dividends, they have shares in the project. So the members of the community who own land have a 25% share, out of the profits.
Around this commercial manager with the new technology, we have our own people to learn all the tricks of the modern farming.
We have got plant operator doing the combine, then we have got the tractor driver who brings the grain from the field, and we have got about 10 to 15 laborers.
I think it's important that knowledge that we have on large-scale agriculture gets into these communities. Our guys here, they learn to fix their own machines, and they've come from fairly basic skills to being able to operate these big machines. The exciting part is to be able to develop this format of agriculture in Zambia.
We have center pivots now, making irrigation a lot easier. And then we also have tractors, meaning the whole area is mechanized.
It's important because this modern technology, what they'll bring in is the efficiency in terms of farming now. People will be able to cultivate a large area of land.
I don't know in other parts of Africa, but we are the only village in Zambia now using this modern commercial equipment.
Life before Chanyanya, there are people who are not doing well at all. They were hungry all the time. Production levels were at varying levels.
So jindi tulatirirawo amupipe. So jindi twamba oti tuligabo tukambo tulakwania kulima garden party.
At times the banks of the river will just go. Suddenly the water just goes and the vegetables remain and they dry. At times the water will just come and submerge all the crops. It was uncontrollable. And that made us really know to be people that would depend on the handouts from the government.
It was very hard, and we were not finishing our fields because it was taking too long to do the work.
People used to grow rain-fed tomatoes, but now because of the technology of the drip system, actually the farmer is able to grow the tomatoes throughout the year without breaking down.
There's been a great difference between the time before Infraco and the time now. We saw a boost in terms of the geographical appearance of the place. I mean, center pivots everywhere, sheds coming up, tractors running up and down, and fields looking green. As a community, we have seen support to the health facility, we have seen support to the school.
The Chanyanya project is that kind of project which is contributing to improving the agriculture sector in the country.
Mbewa yalo kwamba njijane, mbuli mazuwa akamanda ali kupenga maningo, no mazuwa ano janchafa enka tuma garden tuntunto kuchitani, tunto kulima. Wajita wenkaso wasungirira kamali, wajana kagulipira to fertilizer.
Those that came here when we started this project, they will see a big difference in Chanyanya. Every child you see here now has shoes on.
Mbuli mubuumi bojino jindi buumi bwabota kamboti twakwaniha guli hagabo tuma families gabotu bana baunka muhigolo no problem.
To have more money for our children, more money for... I'm very much willing to have a vehicle one day. That's one thing. Day and night I try to find out how one day I will own my own car.
Mechin kubumi wangu boche ndianda mbwenya so gulima kutegwa tukajimiwa mwajana jintu na moto kambwenya botwaula Bana kabachukwa yakunka kuchikolo. Akuli anganda. Bondi anda bompenya okoko.
Now the project's ready to grow. The Chanyanya area will double in size and new market gardens will serve 3 other communities. Water from the Kafue River will also supply an even larger commercial farm, which will help Zambia produce enough food to feed its growing population. One day, this model will be replicated across Africa, improving food security and making a big difference to people's lives.
Chanyanya is just a start. The other community that actually they have a desire to join, and these are namely Magoba and Chikopi. When you expand, the problem that will be falling on us will be minimized.
Infra changed our life, but you go to some other places, you will find that maybe people only have their meals once per day.
There is quite a lot of work to do. There is a structure now, and the reason why there's a structure now is because people are no longer operating as individual farmers. It's not a question of giving them handouts. It's an issue of developing a project that will be in the people's minds, and the people themselves will be able to sustain it.
What we've done is great. It will create employment, but what we need is to have more food so that we can do better than what we've done this year.
When we have other groups like our neighboring villages involved in this thing, then production will be constant.
So nchinyanda bogamba njisha bana bangu abalo kwamba imolonda bashiya bakakwanishe kulilisha panganda mbuli mbuntu kubalisha jino jindi.
It's exciting to see things flourish. It's exciting to see people becoming economically independent. We are a global village, we belong to one family. If we reduce malnutrition here, we are reducing the cost of medicine everywhere else. If we reduce disease here, if we reduce illiteracy levels, we are making the world better.
Can't achieve anything if you're alone. As a team, you can achieve.
We have created something for the betterment of my family. And besides, we have put Chanyanya actually on the map.
It's something that will bring returns, not just now, but for generations to come.
The community have already seen what we are doing, and that is great, and they are happy, and they are saying the future for Chanyanya is bright.